Hey there, I'm Ari from the Tech Buyers Guru, and I've got a product news update for you here on the channel today. It's September 17th, 2020, and this is launch day for Nvidia's GeForce RTX 3080 10GB video card, which has reset expectations in the high-end video card market with dominating performance, blowing away the RTX 2080 Ti that I have here for half the price. Of course, what's the catch when you release such a great product into the market? The catch is you can't buy one. Either demand's too high or supply's too low, or probably a combination of both. But if you want an RTX 3080 today, you're not gonna get one, and my guess is you're not gonna get one for weeks, if not months. I was up at 6 a.m. this morning on all the websites trying to get my hands on a retail version of the 3080. I don't get my GPUs for free. And just like you, if you were up at 6 a.m. Pacific time today, you probably found that all the websites not only were cleared out of stock, but were down. EVGA and Newegg both went offline around 6 a.m. No 3080s were even listed on Amazon. B&H Photo Video did have some listings. I don't know if they had any stock. I never saw any in stock there. I did have multiple notifications set yesterday for products that were listed. I didn't get any in-stock notifications. So either that meant that the stock was cleared out faster than the notifications could be sent out, or there was never any stock. Now, I do have some inside information that suggests that a few of the retailers did have a little bit of stock. In other words, it wasn't zero, but it was small enough inventory that it was expected to clear out within minutes, if not seconds. And I do mean that. So if you didn't have your credit card information already saved in that retailer website, and you didn't already press that at 6 a.m. Pacific time, and then go to checkout within really 10 or 20 seconds, you weren't gonna get a card. That's how little the inventory was. So let's talk about the coverage I'll be providing. I'll also talk about this launch in history in terms of context, and then also what it means to you if you wanna get one. So my coverage, I'm not gonna have a bunch of cards on hand. I buy them at retail, it's very costly. So I'll have one or two 3000 series cards on the channel that I'll be featuring in various reviews, like a review of this small form factor system that's coming up on the channel and other systems. And you know, it's really to focus on the thermal issues. I'm really interested in how the 3080 and 3090 perform in terms of thermals and noise in your traditional ITX and also ATX systems. So, you know, I'll run some benchmarks as well versus my 2080 Ti and my 1080 Ti, just so you can see how the performance boost looks in the real world. You know, I'm not getting my card for free, so I have no reason to tell you it's fantastic, but benchmarks from other sites do suggest it is fantastic. So that's going to be my coverage as soon as I can get my hands on a retail copy, and it may be a long time. All right. I'm hoping for better luck when the 3090 launches on September 24th. You know, that's going to be coming in at $1,500 minimum. So, you know, kind of a smaller market. And I'm willing to put my money down on that card so that I can test it for you guys and show it to you in a lot of different systems. But, you know, I'll be up at 6 a.m. Pacific time, you know, trying to get that card on the 24th. And I may or may not have better luck getting one of those than I did with the 3080. So that just goes to show I'm in this boat with you. We're all rowing and trying to keep this thing from sinking. We're trying to get our hands on these cards. Now, let's look at history as context. Okay, over 2 years ago, the 2000 series launched, and it was critically panned because it didn't even move the needle one iota in terms of price performance. In fact, the 2080, which launched at $700, offered less performance per dollar than the 1080 Ti, which launched at $650 about a year before that. Now, you know, the 2080 Ti that I did purchase at retail actually moved the performance level quite a bit, but it was so expensive that the price performance ratio really wasn't that great. And in fact, over time, the retail price of that card went up from originally $1,000 to $1,200. I don't know how that happens, but it was official. Nvidia officially did that. I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing how anti-consumer that was, but that's how it was. And amazingly, Nvidia has turned a new leaf here and is doing completely opposite, it seems, by offering tremendous boosts in performance per dollar. But I am concerned about inventory, and what I would suggest to you is what I've been suggesting for several months, and that is, if you actually want to get your hands on a 3000 series, but don't have a video card right now and are waiting for those cards to come into stock before you put your new build together, forget about it. Just pick up a 2070 Super from EVGA and use their step-up program. You have 90 days to get a new card, and there will be new cards. In fact, I checked today. If you had purchased an EVGA card in the past 90 days, you could immediately get it up into the step-up queue today for their FTW3 version of their 3080. So they're not playing around. Now that is a more expensive version of the 3080. It's $810. But it's really nice. It's got a great triple slot, triple fan cooler. It's going to perform really well. It looks really cool. So legitimately, if you purchased anything from EVGA, even something like this 2060 that I recently purchased for a small build, you could register that within 14 days and then get in the step-up queue for a 3080. And you'd have a card on hand. And that's why I like that step-up program so much in times like these, when you know there's so much demand, there's so little supply. It's so stressful for people who have been waiting and waiting to put their new PCs together. There's no reason to stress out. Just pick up a 2070 Super or a 2060 from EVGA. They're priced right. They're still in stock. And then you can register it, get in that step-up queue for that 3080, which is already listed. And likewise, when the 3070 is due to launch on October 15th, I'm sure EVGA will play ball there too and let you get into the step-up queue for a 3070 at 500 or maybe 550. You know, it's possible that the lower tier cards are selling out so fast that all they can offer in step-up is the more expensive cards, but I still think that's a fair deal. Honestly, versus waiting months before you can even get a 3080 or a 3070, the step-up program is really awesome. So I'm actually going to be registering this 2060, which I just recently purchased retail. Now, what other content am I going to be showing on the channel when I finally do get a 3080 or 3090 in my hands, hopefully sometime in the next couple of months? I'll be doing a shootout versus my 1080 Ti, which I'm finally going to be retiring. This is my liquid-cooled model. And I'm also going to be including, of course, the 2080 Ti that I have here. And one thing I'm going to do that's going to be kind of interesting and is looking at the system cooling that these various GPUs require. In particular, you know, the 3080 and the 3090 are very high wattage GPUs, 320 and 350 watts. That's way more than these two cards were rated at, 250 watts. So, you know, that has implications for a small form factor system like this. I will be testing this case, by the way, in the coming weeks. Some of you know what this is. You know, a lot of people are concerned about these new cards in small form factor systems, and it's not just the Founders Edition cooling system. Maybe you've seen that Nvidia adopted a whole new cooling system for its cards, but that's really irrelevant because most people don't buy the Founders Edition's cards. Instead, they get aftermarket cards from EVGA, Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, Zotac, and the rest, and those are going to use triple slot, triple fan coolers. Those are going to fit in systems where they fit before, but they're going to be expelling a whole lot more heat, right? So that's still an issue for a small form factor system. Even if you can physically fit it in here, is it going to be overwhelming your system's cooling in terms of that heat production? So that's something I'll be testing in this case right here. Another thing I'll be doing, just for fans of, literally, no pun intended, fans of liquid cooling, I'm going to be outfitting my 1080 Ti with a couple of different fans. And one thing to note is I'm restricted here because my EVGA hybrid system uses a 3-pin connector. And I think some may use a 4-pin PWM, but it means I couldn't use any of the typical 4-pin fans. So I actually got Arctic to send me one of their P12 DC controlled fans. So this is a 3-pin fan, and I'm hopefully going to get it to work on here. I have had trouble getting other fans to work with EVGA's hybrid system. The reason, of course, I want to upgrade it is because the stock EVGA fan is horrible. It's really, really loud. And EVGA is not a fan maker, so I don't expect them to make the best radiator fans. Arctic's P12 is an excellent radiator fan. I, of course, also have NUC2's NF812X25 on hand, but it's a PWM model. I've tried it. I've even bought adapters to try to adapt 4-pin to 3-pin. It doesn't work because this is actually, literally, this is actually a 2-pin. EVGA has removed one of the pins in here. So I'm going to do what I can to show you how to upgrade a liquid model. And the reason this is relevant to all you prospective 3080 and 3090 buyers is you may actually want to go liquid, an all-in-one cooler with these models. EVGA has a bunch of hybrid and liquid-cooled models coming out in their 3080 and 3090 lines because, frankly, these are really hot-running cards. So I think it's going to be relevant to all of you. Even though this is a 1080 Ti, it's like 4 years old, the liquid cooler, you know, doesn't change that much. And I'm just going to show you what kind of uplift we can get in performance with this versus the stock fan. You know, there's a lot of talking here. I'm, on the one hand, really excited about this launch, and on the other hand, kind of disappointed because I can't get my hands on these cards, and neither can you. So it's hard for me to give you advice and tell you, hey, build up this great new system with a 3080. That's how it works. But again, I really believe in the step-up program from EVGA if you're in a region where they operate. It's a fantastic deal. It takes the stress out of building a new gaming PC or content creation PC. You know, like I actually use my 2080 Ti for 4K rendering more than I do for gaming. It's a great accelerator. And if you need to do content creation and that's your job, you can't wait around for the 3080 to show up in stock. So pick up a 2070 Super, get your work done, get your play done, and watch everyone else scramble and you just get in queue and get your card when it's ready. So again, all my advice, take it or leave it. If you have any questions, please post them down below. I try my best to get back to everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.